Fresno. Right here, but guess what? Paul George, nice split, nice.
Shot clock at 6. George, step back 3. Bang! Paul George from downtown, and the Clippers take an 8-point lead. Clippers trying to hold on and take game 1.
Versus Towns, Covington, and Wiggins.
And that time we gave it to Terrence Mann on the turnover. George converts. He's now got 30 points. Time and containing these two players has not yet surfaced here in this third quarter.
Paul George finds room and the foul.
Stronger than you think. Yep, it just goes right to his strong hand.
4. Clippers looking for the lead. George to the rack, reverse layup. Oh my! Reorganizes in mid-flight, lays it up and in, counted on a foul.
Cross, he's willing to give it up. He changes gears, Paul George, and finishes.
Maintains the dribble. Creating space for 3. 6 threes for Paul George.
Have numbers if they push. To George, to the cup. Oh my! Look out below! Paul George with points 16 and 17.
Pick off by stepping up into the passing lane, and then this is a wind-up throw it down by Paul George.
George! Got it!
The Clippers coming the other way. Paul George contested by Covington, gets a finish anyway.
What a finish.
Steal it and save it to Patrick Patterson. There's George, last time in this arena, scored 46 points, off to a pretty good start. Was to Marcus Morris. It didn't work out in July. It's worked out perfectly here in February, and the Clippers are stacked for a nice little run as Paul George knocks down a little 15-foot.
George with a hand in his face. That's a 3. Paul George.
25% on the year.
George stops on a dime. Mid-range shot and rooted.
Moves to his left.
You like this matchup if you Paul George.
Does he like it? He cashes in the Clippers.
George, 18 points a game in these playoffs. He'll dance and drive in the collision, and he gets the 2, and he will go to the 1.
But the tough road to get there is what we're all chatting about.
Well, look at all these tough first-round matchups in the Western Conference.
John T. in a 104-81 loss.
George feeling good. Gets around his defender. Oh, he had him backpedaling. And
It's 29. George. Oh, what a pretty move that was.
10-point game. George strokes home a 3-pointer, and the lead is up to now a 7-point game. Paul George banks it home as the shot clock expired
With his 3rd rebound. Zoo's line here, multitasking. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Gets a screen assist on the previous possession and gets another screen assist. Paul George with back-to-back 3.
That paid off for the Clippers.
Oh my.
This 2-man game with George and Zoo.
Paul George off the window and knocks it in.
And that's
George pump fake, then pulls the trigger. He gets 3 more. Paul George looks terrific.
Tough way to open up for Golden State. George on a ball fake out of the timeout. Fade away, book it.
That's one way that Paul George has.
And there they go again. Nice deflection right there.
And the pull-up from downtown for Paul George. He is not disappointed. Trez Harrell has come on for the Clippers. Well, the best bench in the NBA. George, nice hesitation. He got hit. And he'll go to the
Run it. They look like that team right now. Keep playing out of the timeout. And Paul George.
Tonight, he's 4 for 5. George drives in on Gabe, puts it off the window and in. He wants a whistle. He's not going to get it.
He will fire from anywhere, as you just seen.
Lead trimmed into single digits. Paul George spots an entry to the rim, hit hard, counted and a foul, and sent.
Beverly made a great rotation, stepped up to take the charge, and Morant went straight up and came straight down.
George for the lead, got it!
He's going to have to keep this up.
But this is who he was all of last year.
Counted and a foul, and sent him back to the
2-man game with Zubats.
calls his own number. Gets to the rim with a right hand and lays it in.
This Denver team, they have some resolve now. They will not go away. They'll continue to keep playing.
George from 15, the fadeaway flick is good.
George, runs through a pair of defenders like they're saloon doors in a Western and lays it home.
And look at Paul George right here. Comes down, snakes the pick and roll, slides through with that nice 1-2 step.
You're happy. You know, it's easy when you're happy. You're in a nurturing, good environment, and that's no indictment on anybody. But this NBA,
In terms of points scored together, they've only gotten better. How about a turnover? Here comes Paul George. Oh, my! He covered a lot of ground.
Zubats in the middle. Morris, Beverly the pass to George, who has scored well. Leans inside, got the two, and a foul call.
He's playing for the right reasons. Wants to win every single night. And you also always have a chance on Paul George's make
First rebound. Throws it away. George gets it back with Oubre to beat it. He flushes it in.
Funny you say that. I mean, you got three guys that are motivated to really come out here and play well today.
The step away from Paul.
George, out of 2-on-1, took it the length of the court.
George and Leonard play catch late in the clock for Paul George. 5-2 start for Sacramento. They lost last night at home in the capital city as Paul George late.
Gallo historically has always been a really good first half, first quarter player, so you got to do a good job on him early on.
Paul George continues to smolder, and I don't know what else you can say. How about the handle? Cradles the ball to the rim, counted out.
George for 3.
Well, the best bench in the NBA. George, nice hesitation. He got hit.
And admire LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis. But I have every right to feel like I can very well be the best player on a given night.
Here's George. He's gone 5 of 9. That shot good. It's a 3, and it ties the game at 101.
That is exactly what you want him to do, especially early on in the clock, and that's exactly what you want that guy to do. Paul George rips the cord.
George showing off the handles and then shows off the touch.
In the voting for MVP last year. But there's still people when you talk, list the elite.
With speed, you can get out in transition early for your team.
George cradles the ball down the lane, down that hatchet goes for more three-point shooting. It could happen.
George, a step away 3 on cue.
Minute and a half left here in what has been an intense first couple of quarters. Paul George goes and banks it home. You guys already thought he was fouled. Paul George goes and finishes. Millsap thought about a foul, but back.
this is a Timberwolves team that is playing free and has a ton of confidence. What a strong drive by Paul George.
Perfect time to do it right now.
George accelerates, goes down the lane, looks like he's playing hopscotch, counted on a foul and send him to the line.
Shamet will find George. This feels like George is trying to put together a monster game right now, and all
has his footing taken away. Clippers recover. George down the lane. The floater is good.
Trying to play. George down the lane, bullies his way to the cup and lays it in. Good foul for Denver in this fourth quarter. Paul George stops, fades, fires, and fills it up. 24.
About him. I mean, he plays with the correct mindset.
George a step away, mid-range shot, and he pours it in. He had
the thing that Mark did differently on his floater as George goes to the rim and finishes through contact.
Rose is using that screen. Those screens from LaMarcus Aldridge very well. They're going one-on-one against Zubats and continues to win that battle.
Paul George.
Green to George for a corner three. Yes, sir! 2-point game.
They find the round to the deep left-hand corner. Paul George, no hesitation at all, knocks it down and make it.